there, my name is Michelle Mercier, and welcome to another Membership Spotlight video. I am very excited to welcome to the people here today, the wonderful owners of Marlborough's latest edition, Bach to Rock, Amanda and Patrick. Welcome to the show.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Yeah, it's great to be
Of course.
here.
Well, let's jump in. So, Bach to Rock is a music school that boasts some of Marlborough's most talented music teachers and educators. Their instructors include classically trained musicians, touring musicians with experience across a wide range of instruments and genres. Bach to Rock is open to students of all ages, and I absolutely love this part. The website says, we believe that learning music should be fun at any age, as it should, right?
Yes.
Can each of you give us a little bit of background? You both have interesting backgrounds, and I think it's always important to hear about that before we jump into the business. So, Amanda, I'll start with you.
Sure. I am a graphic designer, marketer from way back, and I've just been in that field since college. And I've worked for a bunch of different corporate companies, but then started my own little business for graphic design in Hopkinton, and have just branched out to marketing and social media for other different companies and a band that I manage. And it just dovetailed great with school of our music school because I'm their marketer and designer. So it's
That's
kind of
awesome.
And director.
and director.
I was
Yes.
going to say, it comes in
Director,
handy
owner, right? Lots
for
of
all the
hats.
different things, right?
Yeah.
All the different hats.
Yeah.
All right, you're up, Patrick.
So I've been a musician my entire life, all the way through grade school, and I came up through a school program. But I started playing professionally in high school as a trumpet player primarily. But then went musicals and performed with a touring group in the late '80s. We toured worldwide. It was kind of a variety show. And then after seeing engineering for a few years, I decided to take a crack at music, and I came to Boston to study music at Berkeley-trained music, and graduated there in the early '90s, and then was a gigging musician throughout the '90s, and that was how I made my living. And then after, a few years of struggling as a musician, realizing how hard it was to really make a living, fell back on my technical background and started working in tech and internet startups. I was involved in a couple of internet startups in the late '90s and early 2000s, had my own startup. And then for the past 15 years or so, I've been working for larger companies such as Bose. I worked there for several years, building out some cloud technology. And then more recently, I worked for Google for their cloud platform. So that's kind of my day job.
Wow.
But I've always been gigging on the side. Like, that's never going away.
Good.
The band that she manages is a band,
What's the name of it?
Soul Function.
Thank you.
Yep. So that's been a great, that's been an awesome endeavor, and we've had a lot of fun with that project. And this opportunity for Bach to Rock came up in the last couple of years as I was kind of thinking about what's next. And after some research and really looking into the company and the concept, we were super impressed.
Yeah.
And it was a year ago that we kind of signed on with and started the process. And so really excited to be open and running at this point.
What a great mix of skills the two of you bring to the table, right? Because I kind of like right and left brain mixed together in both of you
Mm-hmm.
coming at it from a business perspective, which is so valuable for running a business, right? Can you tell us about the inspiration behind Bach to Rock? Obviously, you're a musician, so we know that part. But what about you? What was your inspiration for doing it?
Well,
You married it?
yeah, oh my gosh, that's exactly what, whenever we were in disagreement, he's like, well, you married it. I'm like, no, I know I did. And I love it. I guess the inspiration is one that everybody might think of. It's, learning music when you're a child or an adult, it just can bring you a lot of joy
Mhm.
and stress relief and anxiety relief. And there's a lot of that in schools. We have 3 kids who've all gone through that. And we just know that it just brings a lot of joy and opens up those pathways in the brain that can
Yeah.
really be beneficial to kids as they get older. And sports is really good too, but with music, when you get out of school, like if you get out of high school or college, you can take that music with you everywhere. You don't it just stays in your brain
Right.
forever.
Right. No, I mean, that's a really great point. And again, like, and I don't think you need an either or, right? You don't have to be a pro sports and anti music or pro music and anti. I think it all has its place.
Yes, it does.
Right. To your point, when you're going and you're thinking about music and it builds confidence, it builds your math skills, it builds so much more in kids people don't even realize
Yeah.
when they do it. So that's a great inspiration. How about you? Is it just kind of a personal, like, I want to keep my music alive with Bach to Rock?
Well, it's a lot more than that. I mean,
Sure.
for me, it was, I mean, music's a gift,
Yeah.
right? At any age.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people come to it for different reasons at different stages in their lives. You mentioned, you're getting back into
I
it.
am.
You're taking
Yeah.
lessons at
I
the
am.
school, which is
Yeah.
awesome. And so, as an adult, you're coming back to it because it brought you something and it was a key part of your growth.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's a whole other dimension to it as you grow older.
Right.
Why people would come to music. It's therapeutic. It's reconnecting. It's also expressive and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of great qualities at any age, and at a young age, all the cognitive benefits of
Yes.
basically mental development, emotional development, confidence building, collaboration, communication. You're learning a language, right? And so we just feel like it's a life skill that everyone should be able to benefit from.
Yeah.
And, I think school programs, there are great school arts programs around here. But there's still the need for students to get one-on-one lesson instruction and the opportunity to play in more small ensembles, which is what the school offers. That was a big part of the program that we were really attracted to, is you can, within the first 3 months of learning an instrument, be playing with other kids and other adults, for that matter, other musicians, music at your level that you want to play.
It's awesome.
Right. So that it really kind of hits on all the dimensions of like playing, reading, listening, playing with other musicians, learning theory. It's a very comprehensive curriculum.
Yeah.
And so it develops that whole experience. And I think it's a super rich and super important thing for people to be able to experience.
No, I agree. Now, you guys have multiple steps to your curriculum, right? 'Cause remember, you were talking to me when I came in about like which I was going to have and which. So can you speak a little bit about that aspect of it? Because I think that's really valuable to know, that you don't just come in and start singing on one. There might be some like groundwork to be laid, or, instrumental music or something like that.
Yeah. So the curriculum it's comprehensive. It's a full-on music school, and I stress that. There's plenty of other outlets where you can go and take a lesson or learn how to play a song, but this is going to teach you all the fundamentals of
Right.
music right up front. So, what's a staff? How do the notes in the scale work?
Right.
All of that is started at day one, in addition to playing, in addition to listening, in addition to reading. So I think that's super important to get those fundamentals and then to build on those as the curriculum evolves. And there's levels. So kids get to level up. They get rewarded for
That's
leveling
awesome.
up.
Yeah, gamify it. You game
Yeah.
it. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little bit gamified, but kids and grown-ups love it. I think, Amanda, you've got a great story about one of our
Right.
students who leveled up really fast and,
Yeah.
like ready for a band. But just to see, those kids coming out of those lessons with a smile on their faces
Yeah.
is really, really
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. There's students who they're fairly young, I think maybe 8, and they're playing ukulele.
Oh, cool.
And you can't not listen to a ukulele and not smile. It's such a happy sound. And they go into the lesson and they're a little bit, serious. They come out of the lesson with these huge grins, and even their teacher and instructor has a big grin and, oh my gosh, he leveled up. He's been practicing at home. He's already within just a few weeks was ready to join a band with his
That's great.
peer group.
That's
and
great.
And the good thing about the bands is no matter what level you are, we have songs that are your level. So it could be one song, but if you have different levels of players, we have music for them.
Oh.
So they play at their level in the band together.
That's great.
It is good.
That's a really unique model.
Yes.
So everyone doesn't have to kind of be here
Right.
Right.
to play it. You're to come in at your level and then get more confidence
Yes.
as you go across it. But
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's remarkable. And I think so. Can you explain to me, why do you think, and I know you've already touched on it a little bit, but why is music education so important to people, especially children nowadays? I mean, you've touched upon it a little bit, but I want to reiterate it and drive it home.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. So we know that music actually reinforces a number of other educational disciplines throughout a school program, K all the way up through
Hmm.
12. So if we're just talking about that age group, there's been study after study done that shows that when you put a young learner in a music program, it actually accelerates the learning in all of the other disciplines, right? So it's not just math. It has a profound impact on math, believe it or not, because these things are related. But it also improves language skills. It improves social skills, which also contributes to better learning environments.
Hmm.
So there's just a number of dimensions where that process, you're using both sides of your brain when you
Right,
play music,
right.
when you read music, when you think about it. It literally is the one activity that triggers all of the areas.
Hmm.
So that creates the pathways. The neural pathways connect. That is actually how your brain learns how to learn.
That's great.
So that's how it reinforces everything at that young learner age. It's super important. In adults, there's a little bit of a different process that goes on there. And you mentioned, you're kind of reconnecting.
Yeah.
Like there's this emotional aspect that's really powerful. People that have PSTD, people that are just, trying to kind of maybe get through something. There's a therapeutic benefit to it,
There is.
and then there's just a social benefit. Like you don't have to be like going through something, some struggle to benefit from it. It's just got this natural thing of connecting with yourself and connecting with other people. We have a lot of learners that come to us because they like, I just want to be able to jam with,
Yeah.
with
With other people.
musicians,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's social
Yeah.
connection. So it can bring people out of isolation. It can help them kind of, just de-stress. There's all those other benefits. So like at any age, there's huge benefit.
Right. No, I couldn't agree more. And as you're talking, all I can think about is like, that whole debate of, I think it happened in COVID, is live music go in? I was like, I don't think so. I don't think so. If you've ever sat in an arena or even in a small club and listened to musicians, and the collective experience that everybody in that room has is just so powerful.
Right.
And I think, just to have that here in Marlborough. So let me ask you that. Why Marlborough? Why are you here?
Marlborough is a great town. We don't live too far away, so we've popped into here to the other different venues. Patrick's band has played at Firelight,
Nice.
which is awesome. They've been so great, and so we just loved Marlborough. There's a lot going on. The chamber very active. We did look around. How many places?
Yeah, we looked at what, five
five
Oh,
or
wow.
six
or
other
six other
towns and
towns and
places.
locations. Yeah. And part of it is just the actual location that we were able to
Yeah.
to secure on Route 20
Location,
across
yeah.
from Apex. Just lots of traffic. The demographics of who's going there and the
Mhm.
co-tenancy of the other shops there
Right.
just worked really well.
Hmm.
And the landlord, was very reasonable to deal with. It wasn't the cheapest deal, but it was the right one. It was the right location.
Yeah.
And again, Amanda immediately began looking into the chamber and to the other aspects of the business community here.
Right.
And we saw that there would be support, and turns out we were right. Like didn't even
Absolutely.
know at that point.
No, I don't even
But-
know if I was in here yet.
Right. Oh,
That's
so-
really. But no, I mean, and we're happy to support you because, again, yes, I have a personal leaning towards you from my background in
Yeah.
music, but at the same time, I see where it's needed in our community, and we're from an economic development standpoint, it's a great
Yeah.
driver for that entire plaza over there
Right.
too,
Yeah.
right? So I think you are a great addition to this community. Is there anything else that you feel like people should know that we haven't touched upon for this, about the school, about what you want, to attract, about anything at all?
Just to tag on what Patrick had said, Bach to Rock itself has been around for a bunch of years, and there are
Yeah, almost 15 years.
15
wow.
years,
Yeah.
and there are maybe 50 schools, 50 to
Oh,
60
wow.
schools across the country, and it started with the Sylvan Learning people, the
Oh,
foundation.
wow.
Right.
Know that.
Yeah, the same group of folks that started Sylvan Learning Centers decided to get into this space of music education
Cool.
because they were typically like, math, science,
Yeah.
but it's a natural, STEM to STEAM motion. And they really understand pedagogy and how to teach young learners as well as adult learners.
Right.
And, the 5 different dimensions of music experience. They really thought about this curriculum. So it's very robust. And we were really impressed with how they put it together. I didn't want to do something that wasn't going to be like that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Especially from a comprehensive standpoint,
Yeah.
because I think you alluded to it earlier. Like anyone can kind of just teach music lessons, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's teaching the fundamentals unless you're in a rigid music program.
That's right.
Which you guys aren't rigid, which I love too.
Yeah, we're kind of
You're
like we're malleable for
Yeah.
like meet the student where they are.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
the concept there.
Yes.
That plus the actual the ability to apply rigor in different ways based
Mhm.
on where the student's leading is important. But I'll point out some other things, and this isn't a knock on anywhere else. Like if you want to go into another music shop and they offer guitar lessons, we've been interviewing people that have done that, work both on the teacher side and the student side. And the difference there is they don't have a curriculum.
Right.
They hire a
Right.
teacher,
Exactly.
you get a teacher, and it's whatever they want to do with you as a student.
Right.
So it's like it's their method. And sometimes it's good, and maybe sometimes it doesn't fit the student where they are.
Yeah.
But you're kind of rolling the dice. With us, when you walk in the door, it's like we're going to ask, like, how old is the student? Where are you at? What's your level of learning? What music do you like? What style of, we're going to take some time to qualify that person, that individual, to match them with the right teacher. So there's a match there that's individualized, but the curriculum is the same curriculum.
Right.
That makes sure that at each level you're learning the right aspects, the right concepts, and you're able to really build this lifelong skill.
That's such a tremendous value to the people, to the teachers, to
Yes.
to the learners, to the community, completely fully. Can you tell people where they can find you on and offline? Tell your address, tell your website, all the good stuff, please.
Sure. So we're Bach to Rock Marlborough, because there is another Bach to Rock in Wellesley. So if you look us up, it's Bach to Rock Marlborough. The address is 197 Boston Post Road West in Marlborough.
RK Center.
RK
RK
Center, right in
Center.
with Panera and
Yep.
Hannaford's now, soon to be Shaw's. Yep.
Correct.
Yep. So the web is bachtarock/Marlborough.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bachtarock.com, which is BACHTOROCK.
Yep.
/Marlborough.
Yep. And we have a very robust website that lists all the activities and all the programs we offer, because we also offer kids classes for like group kid classes,
Great.
from age 1-year-old on up.
Mm-hmm.
So you can check out those programs online. We also have Facebook, all the socials, all that.
Your
good
social
stuff.
media is fantastic, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Try and keep up
and
with
just
it.
come by. We have
Yeah.
people walking in all the time.
That's great.
Just find us on Route 20, right across from Apex.
Yeah.
And right in the Hannaford Plaza.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you do birthday parties too, right? Didn't I hear
Yes.
you're doing promotions for birthday parties too?
Yeah,
That's a
we do
Great idea.
Birthday parties. They with like a rock birthday party where they all learn a song. The birthday person, whoever it is, they choose the song, and then
That's great.
within a couple hours, they learn the rudiments of it. And we had one birthday party not too long ago. It was a bunch of 11-year-olds, and some of them were already in music at school. Like I think the birthday girl played trombone, but she wanted to play guitar. So we had her up on stage with another person in the party, and they learned Imagine Dragons Thunder,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
which is another cool thing because
And recorded it.
and recorded
cool.
it. And it sounded great. I mean, they hadn't played guitar before, and some of the other ones hadn't done other instruments, but within a couple hours we get them playing
Yeah.
and playing along with the song, and
Then
it's
they're
really
addicted.
cool.
Then they're hooked.
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
what happens then,
Yes.
which I love. 'Cause
Yeah.
Then they have that hunger for music after that. They can't put it down, which is wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Amanda and Patrick.
Thank you, Michelle.
You are both just fantastic for sharing your story and the insights about your business, things like that. It's clear that you both have a passion for music, and what you're doing, I just think is tremendous. For those of you at home, please help spread the word about this wonderful business. And don't forget to support local, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle.